Karen has faced and overcame many difficulties in her life. Through these rough times, she credits sailing as the powerful force to keep moving forward. Satchel has become a staple in the Gainesville community for people with an appetite for pizza. But recently, the restaurant was hit by people with an appetite for crime. Meanwhile, local residents and business owners can only wait and see how the new housing project will affect them. Chief Forecaster Marco Lamano gives you your weekend outlook and a close look at the tropics. Coming up next. Gainesville Fashion Week provides the opportunity to designers such as Bobby Kay to showcase their collection to fashion lovers here in Gainesville. A few cases of dengue fever in the Florida Keys have some state officials worried. Those stories in today's Hollywood Minute. Follow those directions and you might avoid a trip to the county jail. Whether you believe Flash Silvermoon has psychic abilities or not, having a chat with Flash at her home in Melrose is something you won't soon forget. Andrea Gazmuri, WUFT News. Some people are lucky enough to discover a hobby they are so passionate about that it sustains them through all of life's challenges. For 47-year-old Karen Mitchell, an incomplete C7 quadriplegic, that passion is sailing. Leading her team to numerous victories, Mitchell knows legs are not required to win.
This is the world's medal from the Scud 18 2007 World Championships.
When Mitchell was 19, she sustained a spinal cord injury from a diving accident. During rehabilitation, she discovered a love of water that led her to swim in the International Wheelchair Olympics. 14 years later, Mitchell left her wheelchair on a dock to conquer a new challenge: sailing.
It'll be a good day of racing.
Her life changed when she was introduced to Shake a Leg, a nonprofit foundation designed to teach disabled people how to sail. Mitchell, who had never been on a sailboat before, felt a sense of freedom she had not experienced since before her accident. But a couple of years later, life presented Mitchell with yet another deadly challenge. She was diagnosed with severe stage 4 bladder cancer. Doctors then announced her chances of living were minimal.
I was saying, no, this isn't going to happen. I'm going to get better. It's not going to be my reality.
Though she could barely get herself out of bed, 3 months later, Mitchell once again left her problems on the dock and placed second in the North American Challenge Cup.
The minute that I was well enough to get back on a sailboat, that's where I was, back on a sailboat.
Karen has faced and overcame many difficulties in her life. Through these rough times, she credits sailing as the powerful force to keep moving forward. As Karen says, she truly is sailing for life. Mitchell is now the captain of her own sailing team. Her boat has a built-in chair that sits on a track, allowing her to navigate while her crew handles the sails and lines.
She sails more than any person I ever know, able-bodied or not. She just loves the water and wants to be out there. And I'm happy we're able to help her do that.
But it's clear that on race day, Captain Mitchell calls the shots, and her crew listens.
You can do it, Jess. I know it's hard. Good job.
Seeing her get up and just beat all obstacles to go do that inspires the rest of us.
Today, Karen Mitchell is cancer-free and continues to sail at every opportunity. She hopes to motivate people to keep active, no matter what their circumstances.
When you go through a door, like sailing, another door can open. Like now I'm scuba diving. And who knows, maybe I'll be skydiving next. You never know.
Andrea Gazmuri, WUFT News. Every day, Alachua County law enforcement patrol the busy streets like University Avenue in search for people driving under the influence. But lately, the rise in DUIs hasn't been due to drinking and driving.
My doctor told me, you shouldn't be here. This was a miracle.
University of Florida student Bruna Santana clearly remembers the morning she was driving to her South Florida high school when a speeding SUV ran a red light and hit her from the side. Paramedics extracted Santana from her totaled vehicle and airlifted her to a nearby hospital. There, she learned that the driver who hit her received a DUI, but it wasn't due to alcohol. It was prescription drugs.
My seat came apart and everything. It was just a ridiculous experience. It was terrifying.
The illegal use of prescription medication is a growing problem in the U.S. According to the 2008 National Survey on Drug Use and Health, an estimated 10 million people aged 12 and older tested positive for driving under the influence of illicit drugs. Last year, there were a total of 813 DUI violations in Alachua County. Officials say about a quarter of the DUI arrests made were prescription drug related. In an effort to reduce driving while impaired citations, local law enforcement agencies developed a drug evaluation and classification program. Alachua County Sheriff Sergeant Scott Ulrich says the DEC program trains officers to be drug recognition experts, or DREs.
It was such a problem that they sent these people to school so they could help us out recognizing what drugs are out there other than alcohol.
A few months ago, Gainesville resident Edward Diaz was pulled over by a DRE officer for a seatbelt violation. Diaz, who is prescribed the antidepressant drug Xanax, was not impaired, but was surprised when the officer thoroughly questioned him about his medication.
When I'm under these drugs, I know they alter this, like my eyes, and I look strange. And I don't know, maybe he thought I was under drugs, and I am, and I told him I have a prescription for it, but I'm also able to operate a vehicle.
Labels on antidepressants or painkillers read that they may cause drowsiness, not to drink with alcohol, and to use care when operating a car or dangerous machinery. Follow those directions, and you might avoid a trip to the county jail. As Santana quickly found out, a DUI means you are impaired, even if it is from taking your prescribed medication. While she's grateful to be alive, Santana hopes others can learn from her story.
If you're going to go out and do something irresponsible because drugs and alcohol are irresponsible, then you should take the responsibility at least for your own actions, not to hurt other people.
Law enforcement continues to work together to vigorously enforce laws against impaired drivers. So before getting behind the wheel, remember to add no drug driving to the popular saying, no drunk driving. Andrea Gazmuri, WUFT News. University of Florida students who saw the hit movie Avatar may think the virtual world is old news. Well, that's because students already attend lectures, meet with classmates, and do research as avatars with Second Life, an online 3D virtual world. Second Life technology enables its users to create content, launch businesses, and collaborate with residents from around the globe. UF professors in several colleges are now using the technology as a teaching tool.
There's a student project down here relating to presumably Heineken or beer consumption.
Professor Paul Fishwick says the virtual world not only visually enhances lessons being taught, but also allows the class to visit and explore a specific subject at any time through the use of an avatar.
It's a question of where and when, right? They could visit Rome and be able to experience something that the culture or history that the teacher is trying to get across. And of course, it could be Rome in the year 50 AD.
In Second Life, each student and professor creates their own unique avatar, which serves as a virtual version of themselves. Avatars are able to fly, teleport, and interact with other avatars anywhere in the world. Today, over 700 educational institutions in more than 150 countries are augmenting their current curriculum using the virtual world. Technology experts at UF's Digital World Institute say the virtual trend is just a glance at the future, something for which all students should be prepared.
Really, any good program at the University of Florida should point their students to the future, because that's where you're going to be working.
The University of Florida invested in Second Life, purchasing several islands on the virtual grid at $1,000 apiece. One island, conveniently named Gator Nation, is a replica of UF's campus, transforming the law school from real life to a 3D virtual environment.
Several lawyers who do actually represent themselves.
For a generation of students who grew up on technology and video games, Second Life provides a game-like learning space, turning lectures on complicated subjects from boring to interesting and fun.
Picture speaks 1,000 words, in the sense that we used to have to read every single word in a textbook to understand the whole history, but now we can actually, see what happened or what is going on. So in that sense, I think we would be able to learn a lot more.
While Pagano says Second Life will never fully replace traditional campus-based classes, it does serve as a convenient method of teaching during busy parts of the semester. Teaching possibilities with Second Life are endless. Medical students use it in Alzheimer's research, and musicians can play alongside others from across the globe. And students who are too sick to come to class can have their avatars sit in for them.
Instantly understand what they're talking about when they say,
While experts say more research on Second Life is still needed, it's obvious 3D animation and virtual reality have already made a mark in the world, first in movies and now in education, leaving many people wondering, what's next?